Hello.
Yep, be back.
I'm back.
Yes, it seems like Louis is back too.
Hey, I'm back. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
What do you mean, oh your goodness?
Oh,
What happened?
it's crazy.
Okay.
All right, so full screen. Right.
Yes, I feel your pain, Louis. I used to have the same issues with my slower connections.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's a problem when the service tech for your internet service provider suggests going to Starlink.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, have confidence in your setup. Nice.
Anyway, so we were
Yeah,
talking
can you
about
share your screen again? Yellow?
yeah, sure. Okay.
Okay. Got
Share.
there we go.
Yeah, so we were talking about continuing with the port of the BGG cast to the Zen. But to be honest, I don't think that would be necessary.
Okay.
Because it sounds a bit weird if you say like we port it, because there's not really much to port. Like we might have to or we could basically, where's my code? Like there are some parts that we can like copy paste basically, which is
Oh yeah.
like local storage might be useful. I think that's
Oh, I think there you
usable.
had there were some issues with Louis.
There were some issues. Yeah, I did read it. Yeah, but I
it
think
seems to be okay now.
It's okay
right,
now?
right.
Okay.
I read back a bit on the Slack, and I saw you had an issue, but you could also initialize the local storage after like the initialization stage. Like you don't have to enable it right away. So let's say we would use this as a handler. You can also say like, okay, there's like the initialization stage state, and after that state, so we can listen to some things about like the core 2 or the core 1 after it started up or something. Then we go to the next state, which also enables the local storage and initializes all the other workers and handlers, whatever. So something like that we could do. But still, like this specific implementation, we could just copy paste a little bit. Yeah. We don't have to take everything, of course. There are some other things that we can take as well, like config server.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yes, I think so too. Yeah.
HTTP pages, but that's basically it. And all the other things that we want is the library, which is well, a different repository.
Yeah, maybe the Bluetooth reporter, is that also useful for us to use?
I think this Bluetooth reporter
is it specific for the cast, but it's basically ESP32, so that should work too.
Well, this one is specifically made to work with the Safecast Drive app.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. I don't mind that because that's still available.
Yeah, so we could take this as well. So we don't really have to port this because we could just copy paste it. What we kind of the porting part is actually setting up the new wait, where is it? No, this one. Setting up the new workers, data handlers, and supervisors, and then giving those classes and those instances the implementation of whatever is needed to do the working, the handling, and the supervising. Yeah. So what I would suggest is what I could do at this point, because I've not seen any of the Zen code. Well, I looked through it a little bit. I can't really find my way because, well, I haven't worked in it, of course.
Can I just show you what I've done? And I mean, it's not really copy paste. It's copy whole thing and only change the stuff that really needs to be changed. Can I just give you a quick overview of, and I'll share my screen?
Yeah, that's a good idea. So you
Yeah,
And-
we could do that.
If you stop
Any
sharing your screen, yeah, good.
Yeah.
Louis can
Okay,
take
so-
over.
all right, so hang on. Where's my
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
so-
yeah, you can share.
okay, so share this. Or where is that?
There's a big
There's
green
screen.
share
Which
button.
one? Screen one. There we go. That should work.
No, nothing yet.
Screen one. Oh, share. There it is. Sorry, there was an extra button.
It's coming. Yeah, we can see that.
Okay, good. So just give you an idea of what I've got. So first of all, let's start with Platform IO. Basically, I'm just using a selective build to change. So this is so the environment is M5 stack core. The debug builds it with the basically the debug symbols built in. But the idea here is filtering out. So I'm removing button and mode LED or GBL local storage, and then replacing those with so for instance, for local storage has been removed, but we're using local storage Zen. The mode LED is still there, but it's not being picked up by this particular build. BGIG connector is not being used. So instead I've got a very preliminary, what is it? I called it data collector. And basically it just looks the same as BGIG connector, except that it just comments right now. If hardware available, read this, read that, and do stuff. But as far as the state machine or the framework, it's live, and it comes up, but it doesn't produce any data. It just returns the default, like I've got nothing for you. And that's basically where, but it's still the same SM all the same context, state machine and all that. The events, I don't think I've made much changes to the events. No. I mean, maybe later on we'll need some, but at the moment I don't see anything. User config, that probably needs to be cleaned up, because there's two different ways of doing that basic configuration. There's a way that's done in this BGIG cast, and one that's done in the Zen. So that probably needs to be cleaned up, but you'll notice that there's an awful lot of these, if def or if ndef, to skip over stuff that we don't want. So that's where I'm at right now. And as I say, it builds, it downloads, and it just basically displays just a safe cast copyright on screen. But the point is it's not crashing, and it's using the same framework that's already there. Let's go to,
that looks great. So from what I understand is I'm not sure if this is okay. So sorry. What you're doing now is making sure that the BGIG cast and the BGIG Zen can work in the same
same code base.
repository, same code base.
Same code base with if defs and selective builds.
Yeah, I think it is better to just have the BGIG Zen as a separate, separate code base, because there's a lot of differences, because the BGIG cast is just a module on top of the BGIG Nano, and
Okay.
well, it has a whole different function. So, the things that are similar
Mhm.
are, well, basically the library and
Yeah.
like some function. And then there's some, I made a lot of things kind of abstract, so it's easier to like work in or like um, use in different kind of contexts.
Okay.
For exactly this reason, but it, not in a way that we can have like, oh, we have like one big code base where we have like all the devices, like the BigID Cast, the BigID Zen, maybe future devices as well. I think that will create like a lot of like if devs,
Yeah. True.
and I think that kind of messes up the code base. I think
Yeah.
it's a great way of like learning how to do this,
Mhm.
and I'm kind of perplexed. Like it's pretty cool that you were able to do it like this, but it will take a lot of work to do it like this, and a lot of
Oh yeah. Oh.
configuration, etc.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so I kind of feel bad for making you like do all this work, even though it's not.
Well, it's not it. I mean, it was a lot of work, but it partly was work to learn how the system works together. Um, in many cases,
Mm,
if it's just a matter of removing the BGIG cast specific files and just coming, just basically simplifying this selective build, and
right.
it just make it basically only a BGIG Zen, and then the if defs
Hmm.
should probably stay in there only to make the difference between the first generation M5 stack core and the
Yeah.
core 2,
Yes.
just
Yeah.
because
It's only
slightly
when we go to production, then we can switch to only core 2, because the alpha
okay,
is because the BKK, sorry, the M5 stacks, the standard version are not so much available anymore. If they
right.
seem to move to core 2 or a next version even. So, but
Mhm.
if we have core 2, we are safe.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right.
So, so what I was gonna suggest earlier was what I could do now is like create like yeah, how do you call it? Like some first skeleton of the code with based on the library. We can add some like workers, like you have already created the I don't know, you had some files. Wait, let me just check here.
This one up here, for instance.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
have like the
and
GFX screen and the local storage Zen.
yeah.
So those kind of things we can already um,
Mhm.
take to the Zen code base, and I
Mhm.
would suggest to, well, not build on top of the BGIG cast because that's gonna.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, no,
We prefer
I'm
the other
okay
way
with that.
around, yellow. Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, yeah. So it will be like a clean BGIG Zen code, and
Sure.
there's some if defs to differentiate between like the core and core 2, like if
Mhm.
that
Yeah, I
is
agree with that approach. That's better.
Okay.
yeah. So as I said, what I can do is like create like a new branch on the Zen and like a clean branch, and like just probably no file, or like I'll take the platform any file and then add some files to it, and the
Mhm.
library and like the states, and we can think of new states as well, like
Mhm.
maybe the current states are fine, like we have initialize and post initialize and like config Bluetooth
I
and
can imagine that you can also get a state for sleeping or something like that. That it goes to sleep and
perhaps. Okay,
it
so we could,
wakes
yeah.
up.
So those are the things that we could talk about during meetings, these
Yeah.
meetings, and um, we should now look at like a minimum viable product, of course, which is maybe without Bluetooth even. So we could have like just 3 states, like initialized, config. Although the config is also maybe not even needed as a server in the first version, because Rob, as we mentioned, we can also do the config through the SD card.
Yes.
Yes.
As well as saving the config to the SD card instead of the local storage on the ESP.
Mm-hmm.
Because then if you like...
I wouldn't do that, being honest.
You wouldn't?
Saving to it. At least that's not the way the Nano has done it. And I'm not sure if the OpenLock couldn't handle that. It's sending data and receiving data from that. So you have to be careful with that.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's true. Well, we can see it. Of course, I don't think there's an open log in the M5 stack, but
No.
it's probably a bit better with the read and write. But I think if we want to do settings on the SD card to configure the Zen, we should also be able to write those settings. Like you cannot always read.
Yeah, I see what you want to do.
Like overwrites it again or something. You want to avoid these kind of issues.
If that's the case, why not just do all that configuration through a menu? Right, since we have that LCD screen and soft buttons.
Yeah, of course we can do that. Well, although there's some like typing your SSID and like Wi-Fi password stuff. That is a bit difficult. But well, we could technically do it, like in a way with some buttons like scrolling through. I don't know.
Yeah. Just like no, okay.
No, yeah,
like old-fashioned
you get it.
Like old-fashioned cell phones where you have a numeric keypad with.
Yeah, that works for the Core 2 where you have a touchscreen.
Yeah,
we could do something like that, but for the Core 1, that will
no,
be
that doesn't work. That's too much work.
Yeah, you have 3 buttons. You can do like go character up and down, and then third button could be like enter.
and double click. You can do it to a long press or something.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be.
No, it's a lot.
I don't know. It might be like a hobby project, like funny as like a separate branch.
I got enough projects. Thank you.
Right. Okay. So let's keep it simple for like the alpha version, like the minimal viable product.
Okay.
Which is just like, from what I would suggest, like we have 3 workers. I saw you had like 1 data collector, and it reads GPS, reads CPM, and reads IMU. Which is
the data collector. I saw that.
Yeah. So the way the sensor reporter library works, that in this case you would have 3 workers. Like would have a worker for the GPS, a worker for the CPM,
and
a worker for the IMU. So and then the handlers would see like, oh, like the GPS has new values. Oh, the CPM has new values, and you can just use the latest value available. And that's kind of the idea with the whole structure.
Right. Okay.
So since we already have these 3 sensors, like the GPS, the CPM, maybe the IMU is also not for the alpha, we could just skip it, or we can have a simple
skip that. That was only for the unblanking, in the case of blanking the screen to prevent burn-in, but then you pick it up. Right. You pick it up and it lights up again. Unless it's designed for mobile, then you don't want you basically want to shut that off.
Is this available for both the Core 1 and 2?
Core 2 has the IMU.
Core 2 has it, but it's on a separate hardware, and that they take off the connector. So it's only basically on the gray version, the gray of the core. There's a gray core, and there's a fire, and there is a standard core. Let's say this way, and the gray core has a built-in.
Oh.
Okay, I have a black core and a white core too.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Okay, so we could figure out if those
And
are
there is
okay.
also a yellow one. And that's for
Ooh.
Amazon, I think. They
Oh,
have.
Oh,
okay.
I'm not a fan of Amazon. So. um. Anyway, so yeah, we can make some workers. We can make some handlers and some
Sure.
supervisors, and then I could push that on a branch,
Yeah.
and then we can see if we want to use that. We can like divide some tasks. Like
In that
say, oh,
case,
you can implement that. We can implement that.
yeah.
And if
In that case, the worker one worker could be the buttons handler
Mm-hmm.
that returns basically button presses or events, like events
Yep.
from the
Yeah.
the touch sensor.
Mhm.
So I've got the store controllers.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I'm looking at
Uh,
the.
Rob, do you know if the Core 2, like I see three small red circles, are those also touch sensors?
No,
How do you mean? Oh, if you look at the here, let me. I've got the core two.
for two,
Uh,
the red things. I think there's nothing there. Being honest,
wait a second. Hang on. Let me
there's
bring up the
just
core.
it's just at least it's not being used. The whole screen, I think, can be used as a
Okay.
door.
Yeah, I did see you can use the touch screen, but I was like maybe the red circles are like a
Yes, they are.
yeah like touch sensors as buttons instead of the
Yeah.
screen itself.
So yeah. So how
But they
this works
separate?
is that
I don't know. I
so
didn't know that.
the if you look at you can see my got the picture of the core
Yeah.
two. Where is it? There we go. You can see the three little red dots. The hot
Yeah.
zone for the touch screen actually extends below, about 40 pixels below, or like outside of the display area. And
Oh.
those buttons are actually lit up by the M5 stack initialization. So if you, I think we can see them better here. So if I go back to my, here you can actually see, where's my GFX screen? So they're basically three objects in the M5 object. The M5 class button
Oh,
A, button
yes.
B, button C. So they're set up for free by the M5 initialization, and then you basically set the area. You can see here the Y area extends 40 pixels
Below, yeah.
away outside of the display screen, and that works just great.
Okay. Well, that's pretty good. So technically, we have three buttons, which
Oh,
is three workers as well.
that's right,
Three
for
additional
free.
buttons.
But if you want to do a menu, then you can define some extra soft buttons wherever you want.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
you already made. You were
Yeah,
working on that. I saw
yeah,
that.
that's
Yeah.
right. In the others, in the other, the problem I ran into with the other implementation is display.c or display.cpp started becoming really, really complicated. So basically it created a new state called menu state at the top level state machine called menu state, and basically figured out how to use a callback from the buttons to implement, to produce events such that the menu, when the menu was doing its, like its run in the loop, would actually see the event, and and do stuff. Now the only menu facility I actually have was to set the timeout, the blanking timeout, which is more of a, it was more of a proof of concept. And where I ran into to a problem where wasn't sure how to approach it was to set up the configuration, right? The built-in web server and all that. And then, so I, took Rob's suggestion to look at the BGeigy cast code, and it's like, oh, I like that framework, and kind of went off on a tangent. So that just gives you a little bit of idea of my thinking process, which sometimes is unconventional.
Okay. No, that sounds good.
It's
I
called
was just
creative.
yeah, I was while you were talking, I was thinking about this kind of issue, I guess, where you indeed have different screen states, because if you have like a press on a button and you open like a menu,
Right.
it's very difficult to make like on the go workers or something. So I'm just thinking in the context of the worker supervisor context, state machines, etc. We can have different state machines in the app.
Yes.
Or
Like a sub-state machine, like a hierarchical. So there would be a.
yeah, because I wouldn't like if you look at the main states in the controller,
Oops, hang on.
those states would be. Let's see,
Uh,
states.
I seem to have lost with it. What happened to my
Concrete states.
Visual Studio Code?
Yeah, so we get like the initialize, the init, the post, the config state, mobile state, fixed map. So
Yeah.
these states all define what workers and handlers are running. And if you have like an additional state, which is like, oh, there's now a menu.
Mm-hmm.
If you then enter that menu, you would probably leave like some running state that then disables the sensor or something. So that would be
Mm-hmm.
kind of. So if you actually look in the documentation that I shared, or when I shared my screen earlier, and
Oh yeah, let me go to it.
documentation. Maybe wait, let me just share my screen again.
Yeah, okay, let me stop sharing.
All right, that looks good. Yeah. I'll just quickly show the design, the earlier design of the Bigaiga cast, where I had like a lot of state machines. So you can
Yeah.
see like I had this config mode state, which
Mm-hmm.
then had two substates, as well as
Mm-hmm.
this active state.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew it was active, and then in the active state,
Yep.
there was visualization, there was some mobile state, and then some fixed state. And then in the fixed state, there
Yep.
was like a disconnected and a connected and a connection error. So
Mm-hmm.
all these substates, well, it's kind of a mess. But we don't have to work with substates, of course, but we can have like just a different state machine for the
Mm-hmm.
screen. So the
Right.
screen could be a supervisor which handles states,
Mm-hmm.
and it could like look at worker produced data, but let's say a touchscreen event could
Yes.
see like, oh, I'm currently in this like main screen state, which
Mm-hmm.
means if this event touches within this area, I will now handle it like this event, and it can be like an event within the state machine handling the event, etc.,
Mm-hmm.
etc. So we can design the software like that, and it will be easier to then work in these states where you just handle button specific areas. Well, I got a bit of in my head. I can't really show it here, of course, but
Mm-hmm. Yep.
you probably get what I'm trying to get
Yeah.
at. But yeah, these will all be like steps in the development process, of course.
Right. Right.
I think it's going to be all right, and we're going to make some good working version of the software very quickly, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I'm all in favor of that.
Yep.
Incidentally, what software are you using to draw these state diagrams?
Yeah, okay, so these state diagrams are quite cool, of course. I used
These
let's
UML
see.
files.
Yeah, it's called Plant UML.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see if I can
Quite nice.
find. Where did what's the images? No, this is just images. Ah, Yeah.
There you go.
So this is the software. I have a plugin in my code.
Yeah, you can just see them
Okay.
like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So how you create these diagrams? You basically write them like this.
Oh, okay. Oh, lovely.
Let me get like a simpler one.
And that's a component in
It's a
that's
plugin.
available.
It's an extension.
This is an extension in my IDE, but it's basically you can have like I don't know, some diagram. Like you can have just a text file. You can make this,
Uh-huh.
write it in here. And then I can use plant UML diagram,
And then it displays it. That's it.
and then it will render it.
Oh,
And then I
nice.
can like I don't know, I don't know how to open it again. Oh, I have to use. Yeah, there are some
Sure. Okay.
diagram right now somewhere. It's like diagram.jpg or
Okay.
something. I don't know where it is.
Don't worry about it.
That's basically
Yeah.
it's an extension.
Diagram.png.
It's quite simple to do.
Yeah, so it's basically just yeah, script to, well, not really script. It's like text to diagram basically, and it's very easy to use. Although sometimes like structuring things can be a pain in the ass because,
Right.
well, everything will jump around. I spend a lot of time like trying to get this the way that it looks right now. Like
Oh, I see. Oh, you have basically just change the order in which the things get defined.
Yeah, and you can define like, oh yeah, I want this one from IBL. I want it upwards to the reporter. So there's some IBL somewhere. What is IBL? IBL, Bluetooth controller. So
Oh, yeah,
Bluetooth
okay.
controller is
Right there.
this is
Yeah.
Bluetooth control, and then it goes up to reporter. Yeah, you see.
Right.
So this one goes
And
up
then,
to
oh, and then
yeah,
down to Bluetooth. Okay, I see it.
Yes.
something like that. Yeah, and then this thing like you can also do like an arrow or like oh, that's not okay.
Okay.
You can have all kinds of arrows,
Oh,
these
I
kind
see.
of arrows, and
Oh,
yeah,
right.
it's
Okay.
called plant UML.
Okay.
It's quite oh, oh, cool.
For reference, we have about
Yeah.
7 minutes left on
Yeah, sorry, I'll just going off topic again.
no, it's very, very useful.
I'm very good at doing that.
Yeah,
Sorry.
well, that happens.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna have another meeting next week, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Let's make sure that Josh is able to join. I think I'm not sure, but I think he works during the day, so he'd be not available till about 5 o'clock his time or 6 o'clock his time, because that's where so we set it initially this meeting to be 8:30, so that it's morning in Japan and not too late, not too early in Washington State, and I'm
Yeah.
okay with Friday nights. Not much happens here.
Yeah, but then
I don't go
Mojella is late, too late, way too late, I think.
Yeah, and for me it's almost 2 a.m. So
Yeah.
Oh, I see. That's okay. That's a problem.
well, it's not really a problem. Like today was okay because I was at a friend and I got home late. So
Mhm.
but next week might be like a little problem.
So
I don't like sleeping very late, but
okay,
sometimes
yeah,
it's okay. But if it's every week, I
No,
prefer not.
I don't
Uh,
do that.
I okay. Well, we can discuss
You
it
work
later.
it
But
out.
I could also be early in the morning, like around 5 my time. Oh no, that's terrible for Josh because that would be like 2 in the morning for him.
Yes.
yeah.
Well,
It depends. Can be okay too sometimes.
I don't know. Okay, well, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, that is for
Yeah,
later.
maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
We can think about it.
So next step, I guess I guess I'll wait for Yella to build up the overall framework, in a branch. And then I guess I'll just wait for you to let me know what parts you would like me to put in. Because I'm really at this point, I'm quite happy with Yella being sort of the architect, and I'll just basically just here's the interface, go.
Yeah, yeah. I can make like the first setup, and you can all give like some feedback, or and we can just work together on this.
Yeah, absolutely. So my time is kind of spoken for because I took this 7-week gig teaching, but it's teaching online. Unfortunately, with my crappy internet, I have to actually go to the library, rent a room for the day at the local public library, like a study room, and broadcast from there because I can't trust my internet anymore.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah, well, we had it's wireless with towers, and we've had some very severe thunderstorms come through, and every time a big thunderstorms comes through, their equipment just gets zapped.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it will get fixed in the near future.
Yeah, well, we hope, or they go out of business.
Maybe
repairing their, like buying new equipment every time there's a storm, they might go out of business on me.
Yeah, that's not too good. Okay.
But you were saying like your time is limited.
Yeah, because I just I teach pretty much all day Tuesdays and Thursday morning, and then of course I do grade the assignments. It's all virtual. It's all like online teaching. Half the students are not in country even. So I just basically have a little bit less time than before. So what I can do is just make sure that that I can structure some time during the week where where it's you can count on me being available for discussion or collaboration of some sort. So it's going to be more of a regular schedule now.
All right. Yeah, I work full time and also have some other projects going on. So my time is quite limited.
Yeah.
I do have some time in between, and setting things up like this is can be done very quickly, fairly quickly. So at least I'll probably do some work tomorrow morning. And on Sunday I have some more time.
Okay.
So I'll probably try to get the first setup in the branch working, and we can take a look at that.
Okay, sure.
Well, that's great. If you could do that.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Good.
Yeah. Okay.
And also, if possible, to write things down in if you want some issues or things to happen, put it in the GitHub in the issues tracker, so we can add things and we can all see what's being done and what need to be done.
All right. Yeah, that's a good idea. I guess maybe we can do that like at the next meeting.
Yeah, go over that. That's good. Yeah.
We can just go into the first setup of the code, like write some things, and then we can discuss it next week and see what we want to change, like what parts we want to work on first, and then make issues for that.
Okay, we have 30 seconds left, so just to let you know.
All right.
Cool.
I think we'll just leave it at this then.
Yes.
It was nice meeting you.
Yes.
Luis,
you as well.
It's always nice meeting you.
Yes.
That's good. Yeah.
All right. Well,
we say bye-bye.
Sleep now, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get some dinner.
Good.
Okay. Good.
Enjoy the rest of the evening, Luis,
yes.
and Jelle.
Have a nice weekend.
Yeah, and have a nice weekend. Okay.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.